What is up, everybody? It's your girl Zadie Reads here, aka Diamond, back with another video. And today I have what is probably my first no, it's not, it's my second. This is my second book haul of the year, and that's really great, right? Because we're at the end of the year. So I have been buying books here and there, brand new books, but as far as like doing huge hauls and spending a lot of my money on books, I have not done that for the entire year. They've all been secondhand, which today is a secondhand book haul. Aside from one, there's one book that I have that's brand new that was on one of my books that I wanted to read by the end of the year. And I couldn't help it, because where are you going to find a book like this secondhand, as it just came out about 5 months ago? So yeah, we have a book haul today, and I'm excited. But first, if this is your first time seeing my face or knowing of my existence, my name is Diamond. I go by Zadie Reads on this channel, and over here I like to do reading vlogs, book reviews, and everything in between. So if that is something that you're interested in, I think you should consider subscribing. Okay, so the first book we have is James by Percival Everett. I bought this book last week. Started reading it a couple of days ago, and I'm loving it. What page am I on? I'm just on page 50. And I'm loving it. James needs no introduction. Percival Everett needs no introduction. You guys know that this book is in its prime this year. It's on a few lists. I think it's won an award so far. I'm not sure, don't quote me, but it is shortlisted for the Man Booker or the Booker Prize, and I do believe it's gonna win. But this book was on my radar. It's been on my radar for a very long time, and I'm not the sort of person that just like hops on bandwagons, especially from authors whom I have not read from, and I've never read any Percival Everett. I think I attempted The Trees on audiobook, which it was good, but somewhere along the way it just fell off. So, but this one's great. So this is the first book, and also the rest of the books are secondhand, by the way. And they're in this big, and I hate it, like I told you guys recently. Hold on, I think I might have a solution to my problem. Give me 1 second. As recently, I broke this. In my last video, I showed you that I broke it. So, I don't know. I'm going to see if something will work. One of my many ideas that I always seem to have. I literally just thought about this. But yeah, it's not flexible enough. But I'll probably be able to get like some thread through this or something like that. And then like be able to like hang it or maneuver it that way. I'm gonna only be working with one hand, so bear with me. But we have the books here, and they're in this box that the bookstore gave me. So my favorite bookstore, which is the Friends at Germantown bookstore that is located off to like the west wing or east wing of the Germantown Public Library, they're having a 3-day sale where if you are a member, and I am a member, all of the books are half off. And they have really good price books. So their hardcover brand new books are $5, older books are $3, and all of their paperbacks are $2. So I basically went in. Okay, so let's just get started. In no particular order, this is how the books have been packaged. So I'm gonna pull out the first book. All right, so with this first book, as you guys know, my channel is very niche. It is literary fiction. I'm a literary fiction girl through and through. But I watch all types of booktube channels. And two of one of my favorite girlies over in like the thriller romance department, Danny and Bryn, they speak so highly of this author. And so I came across him and I said, I'm going to give it a chance. And so this is especially for you two, okay? For Bryn and Danny, especially Danny, this is her favorite author, if I'm not mistaken, and it is S.A. Cosby. So we have All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby. I think this is his most newest release. And this book is literally like brand new. Okay, no, it came out in 2023. So it could be his most newest release. I don't know. But yeah, it's All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby. So yeah, girls, y'all have influenced me. So we're gonna see. I think I'm gonna do like a my first thriller. You know, I've read thriller in the past, but it's been so long that I might have to like document my journey of reading S.A. Cosby. But so this is about a black sheriff, a serial killer in a small town ready to combust. Titus Crown is the first black sheriff in the history of Sharon County, Virginia. In recent decades, Sharon has had only 2 murders. Only 2? That's too many. In recent decades, I read that already. After years of working as an FBI agent, Titus knows better than anyone that while his hometown might seem like a land of moonshine, cornbread, and honeysuckle, secrets always fester under the surface. And that's all I'm going to read. So yeah, my first S.A. Cosby. So, all right, so we have another book that has been on my list. I came across it years ago and left it at the bookstore, but I saw it today and I grabbed it. And it is Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga Tokarczuk. Sorry. Winner of the Nobel Prize in Literature. Wow. Drive Your Plows Over the Bones of the Dead. All the literary fiction girls was reading this book back in 2021, 2022. And so now I'm late to the party, but hey, who cares? So it was translated in 2019. Let's see if we have something. All right, yeah, we have a little something we can read on the back. In a remote Polish village, Janina devotes the dark winter days to studying astrology, translating the poetry of William Blake, and taking care of the summer homes of wealthy Warsaw residents. Her reputation is a crank, and a recluse is only amplified by her not-so-secret preference for the company of animals over humans. Then a neighbor, Bigfoot, turns up dead. Soon other bodies are discovered in increasingly strange circumstances. As suspicions mount, Janina inserts herself into the investigation, certain that she knows who done it. If only anyone would pay her mind. Drive Your Plows Over the Bones of the Dead. Okay. And also because I'm a Western girl, I like Western, a good Western here and there. So I saw or ran into this really nice edition of True Grit. What's his name? By Charles Portis. And True Grit is a classic. So let's read what it has to say. It says, an epic and a legend. Exciting, funny, and moving, an American masterpiece. Charles Portis has long been acclaimed as one of America's foremost writers. True Grit, his most famous novel, was first published in 1968 and became the basis for the 2 movies, the 1969 classic starring John Wayne and now 2010 a new version. True Grit tells the story of Maddie Ross, who was just 14 when the coward Tom Chaney shoots her father down in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and robs him of his life, his horse, and $150 cash. Maddie leaves home to avenge her father's blood. With one-eyed rooster Cogburn, the meanest available U.S. Marshal, by her side, Maddie pursues the killer into Indianan territory. True Grit. I got some good books today. And this is coming off of a recommendation from Baby Back Books, Fats over at Baby Back Books. We were supposed to be reading this book, which I'm going to read it now since I came across it. And we're going to be talking about a few of the books that she has recommended. And so here's one of them. That's if she hasn't read it yet. We want to read in tandem so that we can discuss together, buddy read. So it is The Water Cure by Sophie McIntosh. King has tenderly staked out a territory for his wife and 3 daughters, Grace, Leah, and Sky. Here on his island, women are protected from the chaos and violence of men on the mainland. The cult-like rituals and therapies they endure fortify them for the spreading toxicity of a degrading world. But when King disappears and 2 men and a boy wash ashore, the sisters' safe world begins to unravel. Over the span of one blistering hot week, a psychological cat and mouse game plays out. Sexual tensions and sibling rivalries flare as the sisters are forced to confront the amorphous threat the strangers represent. A haunting, riveting debut, The Water Cure is a fiercely poetic feminist revenge fantasy that's a startling reflection of our time. And that's The Water Cure. And then we have N.W. Zadie Smith by Zadie Smith. I've never read any Zadie Smith, and I do have one of her other books. I think it's called White Teeth. This is the story of a city, the northwest corner of a city. Here you'll find guests and hosts, those with power and those without it, people who live somewhere special and others who live nowhere at all, and many people in between. Every city is like this, cheek by jaw living separate worlds. And then there are the visitations, the rare times a stranger crosses a threshold without permission or warning, causing a disruption in the whole system. Like the April afternoon, a woman came to Leah Hanwell's door seeking help, disturbing the peace, forcing Leah out of her isolation. And that is N.W. by Zadie Smith. When was this published? I've never heard of this book. I've never heard of this. Looks like it was published in 2012. Never heard of it. All right, so now next we have Worry by Alexandra Tanner. I think I've seen this about when was this published? I think this is like shockingly new. Yeah, this was published this year, March, I think. All right. It's March of 2019 and 28-year-old Jules Gold, anxious, artistically frustrated, and internet obsessed, has been living alone in the apartment she once shared with the man she thought she'd marry when her younger sister Poppy comes to crash indefinitely. Poppy, a year and a half out from a suicide attempt only Jules knows about, searches for work and meaning in Brooklyn while Jules spends her days hate scrolling the feeds of Mormon mommy bloggers and waiting for life to happen. Then the hives that have plagued Poppy since childhood flare up. Jules' uterus turns against her. Poppy brings home a maladjusted rescue dog named Amy Klobuchar. I don't know. The girl's mother, a newly devout Messianic Jew. It's a lot going on in this. Basically, I think it's going to be very chaotic, probably funny as well, but that was too much to read, such a mouthful. So yeah. Worry, never heard of this person, Alexandra Tanner. I don't know if it's a debut or what, but I don't know, it sounds interesting. So, and it's blurred by Kylie Reed. She's the only person that I knew on the back, so that's why I said that. All right. I have another essay Cosby. This one's called Blacktop Wasteland, and I think that this is a really nice cover. I really like this. So I just was like, hey, why don't we just, every essay Cosby that I see, just grab it. Because some people out there that I watch, they swear by him. Okay, so this one says, a husband, a father, a son, a business owner, and the best getaway driver east of the Mississippi. Bug Montag, I think it's called Beauregard. Beauregard Bug Montag is an honest mechanic, a loving husband, and a hardworking dad. Bug knows there's no future in the man he used to be. Known from the hills of North Carolina to the beaches of Florida as the best wheelman on the East Coast. He thought he left all that behind him, but as money gets tight, his carefully built new life begins to crumble. Pushed to his limits by poverty, race, and his own former life of crime, Bug finds himself drawn inexorably back into the world. When a smooth-talking former associate comes calling with a can't-miss jewelry store heist, Bug feels he has no choice but to get back in the driver's seat. And Bug is at his best when the scent of gasoline mixes with the smell of fear. Booyah! I smell an S.A. Cosby vlog creeping up on me. Next we have, someone recommended this in my I think it's the young lady from the new channel that I started following, called No DNF. I have to go back and get her name. Sorry that I don't know your name, but I only watched one of your videos so far. But it's from the channel. The duo over there at No DNF mentioned how I think Homegoing was one of her favorite literary fictions. So, which I think this is like historical. I mean, we were talking about literary fiction, historical fiction, something like that, but she mentioned Homegoing. So I have Homegoing here, and it says, Ghana, 18th century, two half-sisters are born into different villages. Oh, this is by Yaa Gyasi, by the way. Ghana, 18th century, two half-sisters are born into different villages, each unaware of the other. One will marry an Englishman and lead a life of comfort in the palatial rooms of the Cape Coast castle. The other will be captured in a raid on her village, imprisoned in the very same castle, and sold into slavery. Homegoing follows the parallel paths of these sisters and their descendants through 8 generations. From the Gold Coast to the plantations of Mississippi, from the American Civil War to Jazz Age Harlem, Yaa Gyasi's extraordinary novel illuminates slavery's troubled legacy, both for those who were taken and those who stayed, and shows how the memory of captivity has been inscribed on the soul of our nation. Wow. I remember years ago, a couple of years back, also everybody was reading this, and I just had never gotten my hands on a copy. So yeah, I'm gonna be reading this really soon. I got some good books today, and I took my time too. All right, so we have a book by Louise Erdrich. And it's called The Sentence. This was like, I think, on one of the lists as well a couple of years ago. Everybody was reading this. I think Louise Erdrich is Native American. Please do not quote me on that, but I do believe so. So yeah, this book was published in 2021, and I remember everybody was reading it. I think it might have been shortlisted for the Booker Prize. All right, so it says here, the sentence asks what we owe to the living, to the dead, and to the reader. All right, okay, so now, yeah, she's a Chippewa. She's a member of the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa. Is the author of many novels as well as volumes of poetry, children's books, and memoir of early motherhood. Yeah. Okay. The sentence asks what we owe to the living, to the dead, to the reader, and to the book. A small independent bookstore in Minneapolis is haunted from November 2019 to November 2020 by the store's most annoying customer. Flora dies on All Souls Day, but she simply won't leave the store. Tuki, who has landed a job selling books after years of incarceration that she survived by reading with murderous attention, must solve the mystery of this haunting while at the same time trying to understand all that occurs in Minneapolis during a year of grief, astonishment, isolation, and furious reckoning. The sentence begins on All Souls Day 2019 and ends on All Souls Day 2020. Its mystery and proliferating ghost stories during this 1 year propel a narrative as rich, emotional, and profound as anything Louise Erdrich has written. The Sentence. And then I found the last book to my Palace Walk by Naguib Mahfouz trilogy. I have all 3 in the same style. So I was so happy when I saw this. And this one is the last book. It's called Sugar Street by Naguib Mahfouz. I'm currently almost finished with the first book in the trilogy called Palace Walk. And there will be a vlog kind of discussing what that book is about in further detail. So this is just the final installment, and it is about the family, of course, and the father in his older age, and I think he's like reckoning with all of the mistakes that he made in raising and bringing up his children and the ways that he treated his wife. So yeah, Sugar Street is just the final volume. Then we have a Jane Smiley. This one's called The All True Travels and Adventures of Liddy Newton. I don't know. All I know is I'm reading anything by Jane Smiley. So I saw this and I grabbed it. It doesn't really have anything that I can read to you guys. So we'll just have to find out what this book is about together. But I just love her writing, and so I saw it and I said that I wanted to get it. We have a quote though I'll read what one person said. A grand tale of the moral and political upheavals igniting antebellum frontier life, and a heroine so wonderfully fleshed and unforgettable you would think you are listening to her story instead of reading it. Okay, so Antebellum South. But I did read one other book kind of like around those, like in that kind of realm, I guess, and it was Cold Mountain, and it was actually during slavery times, and so it was written very well as well. So I'm willing to try anything and read anything. All right, and we have another Jane Smiley. This one is called Good Faith. Look at that. I said, ooh, this one's going to probably be full of drama. All right, Joe Stratford, who sells nice houses in a beautiful place and whose not very amicable divorce is over, is ready for his life to begin again. It is 1982 and temptation is everywhere. And as Marcus Burns, Joe's new friend from New York, says the old rules are ready to be broken, Marcus should know he's just quit his job at the IRS. But are his ideas about how to get rich, really rich, too big and risky? And what about the real estate development at Salt Key Farm? Why is the local savings and loans so eager to lend the money for its asking price? And there's Felicity, the daughter of Joe's business partner, who has finally confessed how fond she is of Joe. But is this winning, free-spirited, already married woman really the one he's been waiting for? Told y'all, juicy drama. She is good for it, Miss Jane Smiley. All written in literary fiction, which is what I absolutely love. And then we have one more book. Girl, it's another S.A. Cosby. And it is Razorblade Tears. Because if I'm not mistaken, Danny, correct me if I'm wrong, but you said this was your absolute favorite, I think. I be listening to the girls, okay? I be listening and I be trying to trust in y'all. I have taken recommendations from left and right, and I'm willing to give it a try, just to step outside of my comfort zone. You know what I mean? So that's 3 S.A. Cosby books. All right, so this one says, Ike Randolph has been out of jail for 15 years, with not so much as a speeding ticket in all that time. But a black man with cops at the door knows to be afraid. The last thing he expects to hear is that his son Isaiah has been murdered, along with Isaiah's white husband, Derek. Ike had never fully accepted his son, but is devastated by his loss. Derek's father, Buddy Lee, was almost as ashamed of Derek for being gay as Derek was ashamed of his father's criminal record. Buddy Lee still has contacts in the underworld, though, and he wants to know who killed his boy. Ike and Buddy Lee, 2 ex-cons with little in common other than a criminal past and a love for their dead sons, band together in their desperate desire for revenge. In their quest to do better for their sons than they did in life, these hardened men will confront their own prejudices about their sons and each other as they rain down vengeance upon those who hurt their boys. I'm sold. All right, everybody, so that is the book haul. I'm excited about all these books. I think I did a good job of choosing and picking. As you guys can tell, I am listening to the commenters. I am watching and listening to my my fellow booktubers that I love and adore, and I'm excited to see how all these books turn out. But these will probably be, ain't no probably to it, I am full. My reading list for the rest of 2024 is full, so these books will probably more than likely follow me into 2025. So if you read any of these books, let's talk about them in the comments. You don't have to tell me. You could be vague about it. You could just tell me if you loved it. You could tell me if you didn't, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and of course, as always, I'll see you guys in my next upload. Deuces.